Welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the Asshole? I'm your reader Markee. I really hope you enjoy today's episode, and thank you for watching. Let's go. Am I the asshole for calling the police on my dad when he stole the money that was meant for my child's birthday? I'm 22 female. I have a son who's going to be 4 next month. I'm low income, so birthdays and Christmas is something I need to save for year-round, but I always make a fairly big deal out of them because I never had that as a young child due to my father's inability to spend money on anything that wasn't a necessity or alcohol. When I got my first job at 16, 3/4 of my paycheck was taken by him to support his addiction. Now it may be worth a note that I kept this money in cash and in my house. My mum has a key to my house that I've told her not to give my dad access to, and she has a key because she minds my child 3 days a week while I work, just to cut down on childcare costs. My mum knew about the fact I was saving, and I think she let it slip to my dad, but I'm really not sure. He somehow managed to get my mum's key and went into my house while I was working on Thursday. He had found and stolen the money saved for this year's Christmas and my son's birthday and taken it. I knew it was him because I have a security camera on both doors and in the spare bedroom where it was kept. They're all fairly obviously security cameras. I didn't bother to even check until Friday evening though, when I was going to gather some to get my son his present while he was at his dad's for the weekend. When I noticed all of it was gone, I checked the cameras and sure enough found out that it was my dad fairly quick. I didn't bother contacting my mum first, I just called the police and they came and took a statement off me and went to my parents' house to get one off my mum and dad. In the space of maybe 36 hours, my dad had managed to spend upwards of £250 on drink. I'd imagine in a pub where it's more expensive, but I'm not sure for certain. I went to the station Saturday morning to give in the CCTV footage when I was informed there was nothing they could do, as the money seems to have disappeared into thin air. When I called my mum and told her this, she got really angry at me because having a theft charge could cost my dad his career and get them evicted from their accommodation and all this hullabaloo. She thinks I'm an asshole for calling the police before calling her and asking what happened. I don't think I am, but it's because my dad ruined a birthday and potentially a Christmas for my son. Am I the asshole? I think he deserves everything he gets in this situation. There is no coming back from that. He doesn't even offer an apology or try to tell you why he did what he did. This is just plain and simple a theft, a robbery. There really isn't any reason you shouldn't report him. If you don't, that just shows he can get away with it and he'll just do it again if he's not stopped. It's unfortunate that your mum wants to protect him, but he doesn't deserve to be protected. He deserves to be punished for what he's done here. Not the arsehole OP, and actually go through with this one. Now in the comments, Tallybob says, "Not the arsehole. Your father is a thief and deserves to be treated as such. You should probably take the key back from your mum too. OP should change the locks. Who knows if her father made a copy of the key? OP should go back to the police and find out if she can press trespassing charges against the father. He might have taken the key from the mother, but he still committed unauthorized entry into her home. OP should also stop allowing her mother to provide childcare and go no contact with both parents. Can't they proceed with the theft charges even though he spent the stolen money? Not the asshole OP. Don't negotiate, don't waver. Pursue it to the maximum you're allowed. Then file a civil suit to get a court order for him to pay you back over time. You and your son now have to suffer for no reason. Your dad at least ought to be made to suffer as a direct consequence of his own actions." Wow, not a good justice system. Spend the money before they come at you and you get a pass? Can't be that easy, can it? It's nice to see the police treating people the way the Justice Department treated investment banks. And Little Bopper 2015 says, "Not the asshole. Your mum is obviously not capable of dealing with him, and she's just mad he got in trouble, but really, she's an enabler of his crap behavior. Your father is toxic, and he steals from his children. And steals from his grandchildren. He stole money that was for his own grandchild's birthday and Christmas presents. Not the asshole." And our next post is by user Kalinium, titled, Am I the asshole for not telling my older sister-in-law my son's name before he's born? So my husband has two sisters. Jane is older and Emma is younger. He and I are expecting our second baby, and we already have his name decided. Jane knows this because she saw my husband pick up the custom name sticker that we got for the nursery. Jane is dying to know the name. She asked my husband, and he told her that we'd reveal all when the baby is here. She came to me then and asked me, and I said no to giving her the name. The reason? When Emma had her son, she used the name Emma had mentioned when she was 6 months pregnant. Jane was also pregnant, a couple months ahead of Emma, and when Jane's son was born, she used the name Emma had chosen. Same first and middle, and also last. Emma ended up changing her son's name, and it really upset her. When my husband and I had our daughter, Jane went nuts over her name. She told us we had amazing taste and joked that she wished she had a girl to use it on. My husband told her that wouldn't work anymore since we already had a child with the name. She rolled her eyes at his response. Jane's due any day now with another baby, and I suspect she would use our son's name if we told her now. She thinks I'm being too uptight and should share the name since it's not a big deal and can give her the chance to get something extra special for our son. I told her she doesn't need to get him anything, but anything she does want to buy can be purchased when he's here. She's really mad. Am I the asshole? I think there's really no reason to tell her the name of the baby in this situation. She's obviously already done that to another family member, and there is a possibility she's going to steal yours. You shouldn't enable her crappy behavior, her stupid thieving of names. I see no reason to continue that charade. I'm gonna say not the asshole and just hold your tongue. Now in the comments, Reddit Gunboat says, not the asshole. Also troll her and tell her a false name. Okay, but keep it a secret. Aloysius Bertrand Smith. This is the way. Not the asshole. The fact she stole her sister's child name is wild. I would not tell her either. It sounds like she may be digging for another name to steal. And OP replies, that is my theory, especially given her reaction to my daughter's name and her using the name her sister had chosen. Not the asshole. You need to update when you tell her a fake name. Let her steal it, and when she finds out your son has a way better name in the future, how mad she gets at you. She's fishing for your son's name. Keep that door closed. Accidentally say it when he's kicking you. Ouch, Thomas Gray, that hurts. Then look around as if making sure no one heard you say it. Side note, I really like that name. I think I'm gonna steal it. Our next post is by user EngagementX1234, titled, Am I the asshole for kicking my brother out of my engagement party for what he said about my fiancé? I, male 31, met my now fiancé at the clinic I work in. I'm a dentist. She works a lower paying job at the clinic. She's the sweetest, nicest, most beautiful woman I've ever met. She's smart, humble, and has a beautiful smile. It was a love at first sight for me, and I was lucky that she felt the same way about me. I introduced her to my family after 8 months of dating, and she wanted to wait because of fear that my family wouldn't accept her. My sister became her best friend instantly. My mum admired her personality and became friends with her mum, but my dad and brother kept their distance and made some pretty hurtful comments about how incompatible my fiancé and I were, and how I should keep it moving and look for someone with a better background. They never said anything in front of her, though. I ignored them completely and tried to protect my fiancé from their snide comments, but because Mum and others wanted us to visit then, we didn't have much choice. Last week, we had our engagement party at the restaurant. I didn't want my dad or my brother there, but my mum told me to let my dad and brother come since my fiancé would notice that I didn't invite them and ask questions about it. I decided to invite them after my mum promised they remain civil and respectful. My family arrived today. My dad remained quiet, then started talking with other guests, so things were going pretty well. When dinner arrived, my brother sat with us at the table asking how much money I lost to make this dinner happen, then how much my fiancé contributed at all. My fiancé and I were talking about her engagement ring, and my brother randomly started singing, "Now I ain't saying she a gold digger." My fiancé and her mum stared at him and he stopped. I gave him a look, warning for him to knock it off. Then I got up from my seat to make a toast, and my brother interrupted me loudly, coughing, "Prenup, prenup," and everyone heard him and stared awkwardly. I was livid, and I put my drink down and asked to see him outside. I had an argument with him and I told him to leave. He acted dumb about how he behaved, and Mum got involved. I demanded he leave, and he did after calling me nuts, and my mum and dad said I shouldn't have kicked him out. Dad left shortly after, which made my mum say that I caused a scene and ruined my own dinner by kicking my brother out. My fiancé was hurt by that, but Mum said my brother cried because I kicked him out and wants us to meet and talk. My brother is older than me. He's 37 and divorced. Now in the comments, Lily INTX says, "Not the asshole. How dare they disrespect your fiancé? That is crossing the line. I do believe your dad and brother must talk about their dislike for her a lot if they had the balls to embarrass you and her at your own party. He deserved to get kicked out, and you shouldn't feel bad about it at all, nor would I even worry about meeting up with them. They didn't disrespect just his fiancé, they disrespected her entire side of the family. Completely unacceptable. Good on OP for not glossing it over, or she'd never have known if she could trust him to be her partner. Not the asshole. He cried? Good. He's acting like a child and thinks crying will get him everything he wants. He wants to call your fiancé a gold digger while ignoring the fact he's acting like a spoiled, snobby little rich kid. And OP replies, "Mum told me that. I believe her because he tends to use emotions to get others to side with him. It's a tactic that he uses all the time, and I, as his younger brother, am expected to respect him." The tactic he's using is called DAVO, Deny, Attack, and Reverse Victim and Offender. He uses it as a way to manipulate others, like your mum, dad, you, to do what he wants all the time while not accepting responsibility for his actions. It's nothing more than a ploy. You may want to research it to find out what you're dealing with and how to deal with it. I'm so sorry you and your fiancé got hurt during this. You deserve better. Blessed be. And Mighty Thorgasm says, quote, "My brother is older than me. He's 37 and divorced." Divorced? You don't say. Couldn't for the life of me figure out why. A real gosh darn mystery. Not the asshole. Our next post is by user Throwaway872021, titled, "Am I the asshole for defending my daughter's religious choices? I understand religion can be a touchy subject sometimes, so I'll try to tread carefully. My daughter Jessica, 22 female, dropped the bombshell that she was going to be an atheist and did not wish to attend church services anymore unless necessary, weddings, funerals, etc. As her mother, I was initially shocked and rather hurt because I raised her as a Catholic, but we had lengthy discussions and worked through the adjustment together. Since then, Jessica has been happy with the new arrangement, as am I. After finishing a quarter of summer school, and with more free time on her hands, Jessica decided to drive up to visit her grandparents and planned to stay there for the rest of the summer before the school year started again. But not even 1 week into her stay, Jessica drove home upset. She told me that when her grandparents were prepping for church, as they always do every Saturday, Jessica mentioned that she was now an atheist and did not want to attend church anymore, and would wait for them to get home before resuming activities together. But her grandmother blew up upon hearing the news and started saying hurtful comments, like how Jessica would be punished by him and how she was being manipulated by evil spirits, to say the least. The two apparently quarreled for a good half hour or so before Jessica decided to leave. According to my daughter, she tried to have a thoughtful conversation, but said her grandmother was too stubborn and unwilling to listen, despite grandfather's attempts to calm the situation. She still forced Jessica to go to church, and that was when Jessica decided to leave. After tending to Jessica's needs, I called my mother up and she told me I was a terrible parent for raising a soulless child. I argued back, saying that Jessica is an adult and was entitled to her own beliefs and lack thereof, as were we. I questioned my mother if she loved her grandchild any less now that she did not believe in the same higher power. My mother deflected and kept repeating that Jessica was a sinner and she would go to hell if I didn't fix her behavior. Getting nowhere, and in the spur of the moment, I impulsively ended the call by saying, "You know what? I'd rather burn for all eternity if grandparents like you were in heaven." Now I'm very torn because I let my emotions get the better of me and may have ruined my relationship with my mother over my reckless, curt response. However, I also wasn't willing to let her talk about my daughter this way either. Am I the asshole? Now in the comments, Blocked by Jack says, "Not the asshole. You rightfully defended your daughter." That's the end of it for me. It doesn't matter whether this was about religion or identity or a dietary choice. If it's hurting no one else, then leave her be. Faith is a personal thing. No amount of churching is going to make you believe if you don't, and no amount of debating is going to make you not believe if you do. The key thing is to mind your business and move on. I think the thing is, the grandmother probably believes Jessica is hurting herself, in this case her soul, by being atheist. So she can pray for her. Well, I think this actually brings up another good point though that people like these grandparents seem to forget. Having faith is a choice that individuals must make due to the sheer nature of free will. Forcing or guilting someone into making that choice isn't the same as them having their own conviction of faith and believing in those things of their own free will. That's why even Jesus makes a big deal out of religion being a deeply personal relationship that is only between the believer and God. You can't force that relationship on someone else. That's literally not how any of this works at all. And by doing that, you're taking away their free will. Big no-no, since that was kind of the main factor in the whole concept of faith as a whole. Faith itself is believing in something despite having no evidence or facts to back it up, and if you don't have that, pretending to have it for the comfort of others isn't going to magically give someone a free pass into heaven. You're also passing judgment on others, which is super not any man's place. God is pretty flippin' clear that he doesn't like when people do his job for him. Multiple times. As a man on earth abiding by the teachings of Christ, a true believer's only real job is to love their neighbors unconditionally, thus showing non-believers that faith can bring community, love, and support, regardless of who you are or where you come from. That's the whole point. Being mean to people who you don't share your beliefs with is completely counterproductive to that goal. Also, just to clarify, I'm an atheist myself, but I was raised in the church, so it's not like I'm pulling this out of my ass. I'm pulling it out of the Bible. And our next post is by user Am I the Asshole Throwaway Baby Boyfriend, titled, "Am I the asshole for telling my sister to get screwed when she complained about my kids waking her up at night? I had triplets 4 months ago, and last week wound up moving back in with my parents for health and safety reasons. My hubs is working overtime to try and move us out. We have a 2 and 3-year-old as well. Sadly, we lost one baby, so currently 2 toddlers and 2 infants. I'm pretty tired, and my kids are all disgruntled. Toddlers miss their dad, miss their things, and are honestly just overtired. The babies are both screamers. We get very little done, and absolutely no help from anyone, and I don't expect it, but my parents won't even watch them for 10 minutes so I can shower. My sister is 22, and still living at home. She's an influencer, and as such needs her beauty sleep. We've already had several issues, mainly with her wanting to post my kids on her socials, especially the babies. I think she's trying to gain popularity through the son my husband and I lost. Anyway, as children do, my kids cry. A lot. All 4 of them. One goes and all 4 are screaming. This happens a lot at night when one of the babies wakes up due to hunger. All 4 kids are breastfeeding, so when one is eating, they all want food. I only have 2 boobs. Obviously babies come first, so most nights we'll head down to the kitchen and I'll get the older 2 bottles instead. I'm not sure if it's us going downstairs or them waking up crying, but my sister is always woken up. She's not a fan. which I get, as being woken up isn't fun. Yesterday, she went on a huge rant about my kids waking her up all the time, telling me I needed to discipline them more, etc., claiming I'm a bad mum because I let them wake up during the night. I was overtired and pissy. I turned around and called her a self-centered tramp, and until she was grieving a child while desperately trying to keep 4 others happy, she could get screwed. She started crying, saying I didn't need to be so harsh, she's just tired, etc. I more or less flipped her off. It felt like she was trying to guilt trip me, honestly. We are all tired, and it doesn't mean she gets to be a tramp about it. Since then, she seems to be trying to make my life hell. She's under the guise that if she keeps my kids awake during the day, they'll sleep through the night, which is not how it works. Our parents are fully on her side, going on about how none of the kids woke up during the night and how it's clearly my soft parenting that's doing this to them. My husband is trying his best to be supportive, but has more or less just suggested that I try my best to keep them quiet. My sister still hasn't let go of the insult, and my parents are also badgering me about it. And I still haven't apologized because she hasn't apologized for insulting me, calling me petty. My husband does think I should apologize for that, and I'm kind of in limbo regarding it. So I come to you. Am I the asshole for insulting her and letting my kids wake her up? And edit to add, just adding a few things people are saying I should. I am paying rent, $200 a week, and if I want to use the spare bedroom so my toddlers and babies can sleep separate, rent will double. My sister is not paying rent. We were evacuated because our neighbor had dangerous substances in his house. With 2 immune-compromised NICU babies, we couldn't stay as it could very easily kill them and our 2 girls. She was telling my daughter to act upset for photos and asking crazy questions about my son who passed, as well as asking if we had any photos of him or things of his, as well as the fact that she posted several photos of my children that I had her delete after I told her repeatedly that I don't want them on the internet. It all starts adding up. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I think I'm the asshole because I do seriously understand her frustrations, and it really shouldn't be too hard for me to apologize. Now in the comments, Like I Stole Your Bike says, everyone sucks here. You were living at home with your parents, and presumably where your sister lives full-time? You've disrupted their lives and should probably do your best to keep the peace. Sister and parents need to be more tolerant, babies cry, and children cry. But what exactly is she supposed to do? Spray the babies with a squirt bottle when they cry? No one can truly pretend that they didn't foresee this possibility when OP moved back home. And given that OP is dealing with the death of a kid who was probably not even a year old, her sister and her parents can keep their mouths shut. I mean, not continuing to have more kids when they can barely handle the ones they have would be a good start. I don't blame them for the kids they've had so far, because I don't know the situation they're in. But if they have any more, they will be the asshole. They need to go on birth control, stat. They were going for a 3rd kid, and it sounds like 3 would have been perfectly doable, but ended up with surprise triplets and soon a frickin' death. How about we cut OP some slack? There's nothing indicating that they plan to have more kids. Bored Again 0410 says, everyone sucks here. 2 and 3-year-olds should not be waking up in the middle of the night to eat or on bottles. Waking up is part of having kids, but the sister or parents aren't the ones who decided to have babies. Her wanting to post them on SM and asking to punish the newborns makes her an asshole too, though. But it's perfectly normal for breastfed toddlers to wake up in the night. Not all children sleep through the night. Saying otherwise sets parents up for unrealistic expectations. I never said they should be sleeping through the night. I said that 2 and 3-year-olds should not need to eat to go back to sleep, and they shouldn't be on bottles still. And edit to add, OP said all the sudden changes caused some regressions, which I get. A mini fridge would seem like an easier solution to curb some of the crying though. And Kitete 2021 says, geez, I literally can't understand why everyone's saying OP sucks or everyone sucks here. She lost a baby. She has 4 babies and no one is helping her. Not her parents, not her spoiled-ass sister, and her hard-working husband can't. She had to leave her home because of some frickin' crap her neighbor was pulling, so she was forced to live in this situation. It's not like she wanted to move in with her parents. The poor thing hasn't even had time to grieve her baby, and her parents and sister just plain suck at offering up any kind of support. Geez, OP. If you lived close to me, I'd put you up. Not the asshole. And P.S., I'm so sorry for the loss of your baby, and I hope you get some peace soon. And OP replies, we're really hoping to find somewhere to move soon. Hubs gets his big paycheck next week, and we're hoping it'll be enough for a deposit on some place. Thank you. I just want to chime in and say that I feel really sorry for you, OP. I don't know if you will ever see this, but I feel that your family are being giant asshats. You have had an unbelievably hard few months and have faced something which is every parent's nightmare. People need to cut you some slack. You are doing your best in a horrendous situation. Keep your chin up and you'll get through this, and know that a stranger is sending you love and support. You are amazing. Your babies are amazing. Your husband is amazing. I hope you get back to your home soon so that you have some time to grieve and heal. And OP replies, thank you. Anyway guys, I think that's where I'm going to end today's video. If you did like it, tell me what you thought about it down in the comments below, and make sure to just interact with everyone in this community. I love each and every one of you that I get to see on a daily basis. And don't forget, if you are a Patreon subscriber, I love you. You're on the screen right now with the YouTube members as well. If you see yourself, give yourself a pat in the back. You guys help me continue this YouTube journey. You keep me going. I see you guys everywhere. I see your messages, and thank you so much for supporting me. I really love every single one of you. But with that all said, I'm going to be signing off now, guys. I hope you have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.